One of my favorite projects in the entire crypto market is Polygon. Everyone talks about how Polygon is a layer 2 solution for Ethereum, how it has a number of projects built on its ecosystem, how it has a lot of upside, but they basically just stop there and no one shares specific projects that are built on Polygon's ecosystem that have tremendous upside. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about one project in particular called Polytrade. The symbol is TRAD. It's available on KuCoin. And the interesting thing about this project is that not only is it built on Polygon, but also a co-founder and COO of Polygon is on the board of this project. So if you guys enjoy short form, concise, no BS content that doesn't waste either of our time, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump right in. So first is Polytrade symbol is TRADE, and they're available to be bought and sold on KuCoin, which is the platform I use to buy really any of my smaller cap altcoins or metaverse cryptos, because KuCoin has many of these smaller projects listed, and Coinbase, which is the other platform I use, does not yet have these smaller cap altcoins listed. Polytrade, what they are doing is they are trying to shape the future of trade finance. This is a centuries old business. And the problem with it is many things in trade finance, many aspects of trade finance are very slow, very inefficient. They rely on paper, like sending paper from place to place, and it really hasn't been digitized or brought into the 21st century just yet. And that's exactly what Polytrade is trying to do. Trade finance, for anyone who isn't familiar, just think of it as anything involved with international trade and commerce. All these financial instruments that are involved with international trade and commerce, that is what trade finance is. But the most exciting part about Polytrade to me is their team. Yes, we'll talk about some of the details of the project, about trade finance, but that all, is a little technical for some people. The most interesting thing about it for me is they're built on Polygon's network and also their team and advisors. One of their advisors is well known for being the co-founder and the COO of Polygon. This is a huge deal because everyone talks about Polygon, how great the ecosystem is, and how there's a number of projects built on it, like I said, but not many people actually talk about projects, and seeing the COO of Polygon be on the board of advisors for this project makes me very, very bullish about it, and that alone would probably convince a lot of people to look a little bit deeper into the project. So let's talk a little bit about trade finance. Trade finance, like we said, it just involves buying and selling, like international trade and commerce. And the problem with it right now, let's say you're IKEA, you're trying to buy parts from overseas, let's say in Europe. The problem right now with trade finance is that when a buyer tells a seller that they want to buy, they want to get some batteries or get some wood to build furniture, whatever it is. The problem is that then the seller sends them an invoice. That invoice says, okay, in 60 days, we need to get paid. The big problem here is that the buyer doesn't want to pay until they receive their items from overseas. Because you know what? There are a lot of issues with trading overseas, shipping overseas. They don't want to pay until they receive their items, until they know they've been shipped out. For the seller, the problem is that they don't want to send the items out until they've actually gotten paid. So that is a big problem. That's one of many big problems with this industry. So the solution to it right now is that the buyer contacts their bank, the bank provides like a line of credit, they send it to the seller. It's a whole complicated and long process that has so many steps and so many issues involved, because if you're not a big corporation, you probably can't get that credit line from the bank anyways. The bank is very selective with who, they actually will even give that credit line to. So that's a big problem. Many businesses can't even conduct, or grow their business because they can't just send items overseas if they haven't gotten money from it yet. So there's a lot of issues with that. So where Polytrade steps in is essentially Polytrade. You can see right in the middle. The graphic right here is a great representation. Polytrade is right in the middle. And the way it works is when a buyer wants to get something shipped from overseas, they tell a seller, okay, I want to get batteries. The seller issues an invoice, and that invoice is then paid by Polytrade with Tradecoin and cash. Then the goods are sent from the seller to the buyer, And once the buyer receives the items, well, then you know what? Then they pay the invoice amount on the due date. Where Polytrade gets this money to actually go about facilitating and giving that money to the seller is by its liquidity providers, which are people who just invest in the coin. People who go about investing in Polytrade can get involved in this trade industry without actually having to be a large business, having to, lend millions of dollars. You can get involved very, very easily. And some of the benefits of getting involved is that token holders, there's governance, which allows holders to influence protocol decisions. You get staking rewards. You could just stake your TRAD coins, get rewarded. Also, there are benefits for borrowers, buyers, service providers, and all of this we could check more out on their website. But essentially, they're trying to solve a lot of these issues and digitize the trade finance space. A couple of interesting things about what has been going on with Polytrade is that they made a number of partnerships recently, some with Chainlink, with Polkastarter, with Margo, a number of very, very exciting projects. And you could also see media coverage. They're all over the media. In addition to this, when you look at their investors, they have a number of investors from Polygon themselves to Master Ventures to AU21 Capital, which is a big one, and a couple of other places. So they have a lot of, great media coverage, a great team. They're trying to solve a real world problem in the business to business space. And now they're finally going to be launching their mainnet in January of 2022. So all of these great partnerships between Chainlink and everything going on, in my opinion, has really motivated me to actually investing in the coin. I issued a buy alert in our private member community recently to actually buy this coin because while I'm not a trade finance expert, I know that trade finance is a big problem because I've tried to buy items from overseas before for my businesses in the past. It becomes a big issue, especially when you're talking about items coming from, let's say, China or anywhere in Asia. A lot of this international trade stuff becomes a very big issue, and making sure you have liquidity, having enough money to run your business or send the items, it becomes a big issue. So when we look at the charts, we can see that right now it's right around $1 per coin, $1.05 per coin, $1.06 per coin. If you look at its market cap, right around that $6 million market cap. Pretty small project when you look right here, but overall, I think this has a lot of potential. It easily could be a 100x company, considering it's built on top of Polygon, where fees are much lower than Ethereum. Considering it's trying to solve a real-world problem, this is not a business that's just going to go away. This is a business that is definitely going to be here long-term, and Polytrade, in my opinion, is a great long-term hold with significant 100x potential. It is legitimately possible to see this 100x in the future. But let me know your thoughts on this project. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.